that would be really concerning. What would it take to convince you that Elon does not know how to run a business? Tesla stocks have crashed before in 2021. Twitter value crashed in 2024 when he bought it. SpaceX is the only thing making money after half a decade of burning cash. You say he doesn't have time, but the guy tweets 16 hours a day. So, okay, so here's the thing with that statement, Alexi. So it really, to me, it sounds like you don't like Elon, and that's fine. I'm not talking about whether or not you like or dislike Elon. You can hate the guy, you know, there's a lot of people that hate the guy. That's fine. But I'm talking from a purely business perspective. Your sentence sounds extremely foolish because you're saying he doesn't know how to run a business. Okay, so what's your first argument? Tesla stocks crashed in 2021. That's your first argument, right? Stocks crash all the time.
On your guard.
After the crash, it's gone up like 1,000 times. So if you invested in a business, let's say you invested in it at $1, and then it went to half a dollar in 2021, right? But then in 2025, it goes to $10. That's basically a really simple example of your first argument. Did I invest in a terrible business? Does the guy running that business have no idea how to run a business because it went to 50 cents in 2021? It's $10 now. For every dollar you put in, you're getting 10 back now. Even if you sold in 2021, yeah, you would have lost some money, but it's gone up now. It's just, right, like that's just a really foolish argument. Like that's just like come on, like or hate the guy. That's a dumb argument. I feel like most people can see that.
That was impressive work.
Your second argument, Twitter price crashed in 2024 when he bought it. I won't go too deep into that one. Yeah, I think Twitter was not like his best purchase, that's for sure. I think that's pretty common knowledge. He overpaid for it. I agree with you there. But the reason he purchased Twitter was never about business stuff. At least if you take his word. Which, to be fair, is a little more skeptical these days. It was always about like free speech and whatnot. And that's not perfect, by the way, right? Like, it's not like I'm just saying Elon's the best guy ever. I think there's problems. Like, for example, he's emotional. He took away Asmongold's checkmark when he was beefing with him. That's not free speech, right? So there's problems there. You can definitely insult him in terms of like the problems in that regard, hypocrisy, ego. Like I get all that. But as far as a business argument, I don't really like. He never really bought Twitter to make money off of it. I don't believe that was why he bought Twitter. So I don't think that's relevant for running a business per se. And as an aside, a lot of people now are saying that he effectively. A lot of people are saying he effectively heavily influenced who would become the next president of the US because he owns Twitter. And I would argue that he has greatly shifted public sentiment towards him, at least before this whole gaming thing, because he bought Twitter. I think he was hated way more before he bought Twitter. I think him buying Twitter, overall, if you take a poll of the entire population of the world, or even America, like I think that changed people's opinions towards him more towards positive than negative. So there's like a lot of these things where a lot of people don't even think the Twitter thing was bad anymore. If we take like an extreme example, some people are saying he's becoming shadow president of the United States because he bought Twitter. Now, morally, that could be a very bad thing morally, right? But
Poop Fart Socks just resubbed for 10 months. Made it to double digits. Now I need to find a toilet.
Yo, what's up, Poopfire? Welcome back. Thanks for the 10. You better make sure you find that toilet, man. I don't want to hear nothing about your socks again.
To my aid.
You better make sure you find that toilet.
The goddess's wrath descends. With haste.
To my aid.
What was I saying? So yeah, morally that could be a very bad thing, but you know, hey, to pay like $40 billion to become a shadow president of the U.S., like, if you believe that, morally, very bad, but business-wise, I think that's actually a pretty good move business-wise. You know, just saying.
Next time, run fast.
This from the enemy.
Now, I don't think that's actually true, but yeah, I think you guys get what I'm saying.
For calendar.
SpaceX is now only making money after a decade of burning cash. That was your third argument. Honestly, I mean that's pretty normal. Like, there's a lot of companies that burn, like that's like generally a very normal thing. As far as companies go, like it's very normal for companies to be burning cash at the start, sometimes for a long period of time, and then eventually make money. Like that's basically the goal with every company. I think there's almost no companies where you start and you're just instantly making money. Like that's not normal. I would argue the normal thing for companies to do is they start, you know, they have big costs. You know, whatever the company is, you usually have large costs at the start. You gotta hire a bunch of employees, you gotta get an office building, you gotta get a warehouse, you gotta buy parts. Yeah, you're basically always gonna lose money at the start, and the goal is to eventually make money. That's like how a company works most of the time. That's your goal, is eventually you want to be able to make money. So yeah. Oh, that was a bad time to waste my stuff. So yeah, I mean, now that it's making money, that to me that means it's a success, not a failure. So maybe we're looking at things differently, but that's what it means to me.
As the goddess wills.
So once again, you know, like, I don't totally understand how people think he's not a good businessman. I understand if you think he's evil. I understand if you think he's morally questionable, egotistical, psychotic even. But I don't understand why people always think he's not a good businessman, because the businessman part, I feel like the track record is kind of undeniable. But that's just me. Because he co-ops the tech of the companies he takes over. So even assuming that's true, I don't think that matters in the argument. So that's another thing I hear sometimes, right? He just buys companies and then you know, he just takes them over, and then he didn't really do any of the things that the company did. He just bought it. And so I'm not gonna talk about, you know, that's just all. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. We'll never get anywhere arguing if it's true or not. My point is, even if that's true, that still means he's a good business guy in my books. If he's buying companies that are doing these things, and then these things become valuable, you know, that's good business. That's good business. It doesn't matter if he's not doing it. If he bought it and now he owns it and it's a valuable thing, that's good business.
See that, Bandar? That's how real warriors fight.
Is it not?
Choose a talent. Exercise caution. I offer.
Elon is better at marketing and bullshitting than he is at running a company. He's an excellent hype man. So that's kind of, you're kind of saying the same thing as what I just said. So yeah, without arguing too much about exactly how much he does that's marketing and how much he does at actually doing technicals of the company. Because realistically, I don't think any of us know for sure. Unless, you know, you meet with him every day, I don't think anyone can really say for sure. But at the end of the day, if the company is valuable and it's doing something that's valuable, whether you're doing marketing, whether you're doing engineering work, like whatever, if it's valuable, it's valuable. Right? If it's valuable, then you're doing good as a businessman. That's the way I see it.
As the goddess wills. We are of one mind, it seems.
XASTR00 just resubbed for 3 months. Longtime YouTube watcher, thanks for keeping HOTS content alive. Fan salute.
Terrible businesses can earn a ton of money for the shareholder. Enron stock went up a bit too before the company died. So, so I understand what you mean by that. So, if that's the, I've heard that argument before too. Like it's just a complete, you know, scam, like cooking the books. At that point, it's just like, you know, at that point, it's just like looking into the fundamentals of the company and whether you believe it is a scam or not. Now, personally, I find that argument to be a little foolish as well.
Thank you, healer.
Because I'm willing to bet if you compare Tesla and SpaceX to Enron, you are someone who has never looked at a single financial statement for either company in your life. And I'm also willing to bet you don't like Elon. Maybe you're right. But if you think it's a scam, then that's up to you to discover the scam, right? Now, I've looked at a lot of these financial statements. And I've looked at what the companies actually do, and I don't think the companies are scam companies that are fake. Personally. If you think so, that's fine. I'm not gonna argue against you, but I personally don't think so.
The next time our raiders charge,
I mean, I think if you just even follow the companies closely, you can probably tell they're not complete scam companies, you know? They could be overvalued. They could very well be overvalued. People might be paying too much for them, but that's a very different thing than being a scam company, in my eyes.
I shall be purged.
So be it. Well done,
Maybe SpaceX is faking every rocket launch. Maybe it's just all an elaborate hoax. Has anyone actually been to Texas? Do we have any real pictures of a rocket? Maybe you're right. Maybe it's all just fake, you know? Maybe it's all an elaborate hoax. But I'm not willing to bet on that.
Show them that no orc can be imprisoned for long. On your guard. Your healing has proven useful. I found the orcs being held prisoner. I'm counting on you to get them out of there.
That's pretty bad for them. Wait, are they? There's no way he walks out after sliding it. That's not even possible. Is it possible? Guess we got someone else. Oh, the FSD and stuff? Okay, yeah, that's fair, that's fair. I could agree with you on that. I can agree with you on that. The stocks can definitely be overvalued. If you think they're overvalued, I could agree with that. That's possible for sure. Yeah, but you know, like the comment I was referring to was like one comparing to Enron. So like there's a difference between Enron and overvalued. That's all. Do you think the stock market should exist? Is it good for humanity to make CEOs billionaires? Yes, I do think the stock market should exist. Oh my god, bro. I just missed all my stunts. Doesn't matter. Jaina has 2 secondies for sentries. OP. Alright, I don't want to get too much into this because I feel like this conversation is a conversation that is not ideal when everyone is at a different knowledge level and everyone has different definitions and everyone's thinking about different things. So I don't want to get into this too much. But the TLDR for why I like the stock market, why I think it should exist, is the stock market does not just exist to make people billionaires. That's not what the primary purpose of the stock market is. Okay, the stock market can make any person investing in it have a comfortable life. It can give security, life security to anyone investing in it, anyone with a 401k, anyone with individually investing. And the stock market also serves in a large part to make America the greatest country in the world. So if you think about the stock market and the first thing that you think is billionaires, then we can't have an honest conversation because I don't think you fully understand what the stock market does. I do think it's not good to have like infinite billionaires, and I'd be in favor of limiting personal wealth, you know, to something way less than $1 billion. Maybe something like that could be good. But I do think the stock market itself is a very good thing to have. Ooh, that's not good.
Captain Corp asked me, as vice president to Elon Musk, how will you assist him in making HOTS great again? Well, let me tell you, Heroes of the Storm could use a little Trump Musk magic. With my huge expertise and Elon's genius, we'll make HOTS the biggest game it's ever been. We'll drain the swamp of bad patches, introduce massive updates, and get those tiny hands on every hero's controls.
CTC has gotten some good moshes. Give it to him. He's gotten some good moshes. That was well moshed.
Danger is near.
But the stock market as it currently exists with calls and puts and holds and options, yeah, I don't love options. That's like a kind of a different story. I'd be down with like limiting options and shorting especially. Like yeah, I'd be down with stuff like that. But you know, I'm just replying to the general question, should it exist? Is the stock market perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not perfect. There's plenty of problems. But is it better that it exists versus doesn't? I think it's absolutely better that it exists versus it doesn't.
No frost wolf should be held in chains. Get them out of those cages and onto the battlefield.
Dicey territory, guys. What am I, Asmongold? Wait, I thought this was a hot stream. I'm gonna get my check mark removed at this rate, guys. We gotta chill out.
My eye is upon you.
Just kidding, I don't have a check mark. Actually, I don't have one. Sedge. You know, I used to have one. On old Twitter, I used to have a check mark. I don't have one on new one, though, because I'm not paying the $7. God, this wallet does too much damage.
Spirits on our side, we cannot lose. Still fight weakness.
Aww.
This will not go unanswered.
Yes.
Your entire retirement is based on the wealth you've generated in your market. Yeah, I think that's pretty common, right? I mean, don't most of you guys have 401ks? And isn't that a big part of your retirement? Isn't that... You have that, right, Enigma? You have a 401k? Like, I feel like that's very important to the average American. You'd be in a lot of trouble if you don't have that. For a lot of people, I think. You don't have one? What? Do you not work at like a traditional company or something, or do you like just choose not to have one? And how come? Stay-at-home dad. Gotcha, gotcha. Well, maybe your wife does then. I mean, if your wife works at a traditional company, you could ask her about her 401k, and you know, ask her about how much that would affect retirement and you know stuff like that. Because I do think it's very important for most normal Americans. It's not like stock market is only for billionaires. Yeah, the gig economy doesn't do 401k. That's true. But I mean, most people, you know, a lot of people have one.